Oh man, welcome back. It's on a walk. It's been a little bit, man, since the last walk. Your boy, man, he got sick again. Matter of fact, uh, actually got COVID again. It's been about 5 times now since I've gotten COVID. Um, the thing about it, at least the way it's affected me, is it really affects my lungs and my ability to breathe. And it's not like I'm struggling to breathe, like I need a ventilator or anything like that. But just shortness of breath. So uh, makes it difficult to walk and exercise. And for the first like 3 4 days, it's like really hard to like get out of bed and like eat and stuff like that. So that's kind of what the hiatus was about. I gotta do it. I mean, it's not many people that follow, but I kind of or subscribe, I should say. I got to do a better job of just like putting updates out there on the YouTube channel when I'm kind of like not walking. Um, for those that look forward to these uploads. Uh, but yeah, no, I mean, other than being sick, things have been okay. I think. Uh, just trying to maintain. Uh, things are going pretty well in the professional, personal life, and all that. So, don't really have too many updates there. Uh, it's basketball season. Well, first of all, this is probably like speaking of sports. This is probably like my favorite time of year. I'm a huge baseball fan, and the baseball season is a long grind. Uh, and the baseball playoffs start, and basketball season starts back up again. So, and it's football season, so you kind of get the blend of the three major sports here in America. On top of that, you got the Premier, excuse me, Premier League, the Champions League. So you just got a blend of a whole bunch of major sports. So yeah, it's kind of like my favorite time of a year almost. And here in the Bay Area, it's probably politically incorrect. I don't really care. Here in the Bay Area, it's what we weather wise, it's what we call Indian summer. Um, what that basically is so in the Bay Area, we live like pretty much on a bay. So pretty much, I don't want to say all summer, but pretty much all summer, it's a lot of fog. It's not really hot on near the bay. Now, if you go inland, it's gonna be hot. But for those of us that live in the bay, it's not really hot. It's a lot of fog. It's usually where I'm at. It's usually about anywhere between like 65 degrees and like 75 degrees for the majority of the summer, except during Indian summer. Indian summer happens after summer, like September through October sometimes, and it gets to be like anywhere from like 80 to 90 degrees in the Bay Area. Uh, and inland, obviously, it's going to be a little warmer. So this is my favorite time of year, man. Like it's what time is this? 8 o'clock in the morning right now. It's probably like 70 degrees. I got a t-shirt, some shorts on. I'm chilling. Rip to the headphone user. Sorry for coughing in your ear. Um, so yeah, um, I didn't really have a plan this morning to talk about anything in particular. Usually, if I have some talking points or something, I guess I want to address it. Usually comes from social media. Uh, I guess one of the things, kind of this is probably going to be a little bit more sports related. I'm tired of politics, man. I'm tired of it all. To be honest with you, man, it's a combination of a lot of things, and I don't want to disparage anybody or make anyone feel like I'm singling them out or anything like that. I'm kind of off that, man. I really am a person of unity. uh, Even with that, though, I know we're going to disagree. That's part of the human experience. Um, one of the things I think, real quick, one of the things I think that we do ourselves a disservice is when somebody says something we don't agree with, A lot of the times, it's really just like a new generation thing. It's like, oh, somebody said something I disagree with. Let me just throw that whole person away. like, everything that comes out of their mouth is invalid because of one, two, three, four, five things you may disagree with, and I don't operate like that. Uh, I can listen to something I don't agree with and try to find value in the things that I do agree with that person. If there is something, sometimes you just, there's a mismatch of personalities or ideas. I don't necessarily think you gotta throw the person away or make them feel invalid, but people deal with things how they deal with them, and I'm learning as I get older to meet people where they are and not try to push how I do things on other people. So that's a constant. Uh, that's a constant learning and growth area for me. Um, but off of that, I so I I've been watching sports for a very long time, and I guess this kind of bleeds into like society and all that kind of stuff. But I've been watching sports for like a very long time, and I asked my friends, I asked my, I asked, I asked my friends a question in our group chat the other day, and it ended in a joke, but the question was serious. Like I asked him, I was like, "Do you have a hero?" I asked my boys, I was like, "Y'all got heroes? Y'all ever have heroes growing up?" So I want to ask the global friend group that I have, y'all. Have y'all ever had a hero growing up? And I never had a hero growing up. I don't even know what that is. To be honest with you, I mean, I know what it is in the colloquial sense of there's this person that does this thing, and I look up to him because I want to do that thing too, or that person inspires me, and so like they're my hero. But I get, and I don't really know how to articulate this thought. Like I said, I didn't plan this, so this is just raw thoughts. I never had a hero growing up, and I don't even think that's a bad thing. I just live my life. People have inspired me to do things, but I can't ever say that I looked at someone and put them on a pedestal, start dressing like them, doing things like them. I use them to like model my life after how people do athletes and entertainers. Um, and again, this ain't no knock on nobody. Please don't take it that way. I just noticed the way that I perceive entertainment, entertainment figures, whether they be athletes or um, music artists, and I always just perceive them as people. Um, they're always just people to me, and as far as human beings go, I don't ever put another human being over myself. I never have, and I never will. Um, we're all just human. None of us are better than anybody else, regardless of if you got $1 billion or if you got $1. We all use the bathroom the same. We all born the same. We all die the same. Nobody's better. You can achieve different things in your life based on your value system, the things that you kind of want to do. Some people want to have $1 billion. Some people don't. You know what I'm saying? Some people make mistakes in life and uh, they have to pay. What is not pay, but when you for every action there's a consequence to the action, good, bad, or indifferent. So some people make mistakes in their life and they have to pay the consequences for their actions. And sometimes that leads to bad living environments, whatever the case may be, is. So none of us are better or worse than anybody. So when I asked my boys, I was like, 'cause I'm thinking, And the reason why I got brought up, just to bring it back to sports, is I notice a lot that people really, uh, it's mostly on social media that I notice because that's where you get to see a lot of people's thoughts, right? You don't see people's thoughts in real life. You talk to them and you get to know them, but even then, it's going to take a while before you actually get their thoughts on stuff. So you see a lot of stuff, and what I see is a lot of idolatry. And I don't mean it like in the golden calf way. I mean it in like they look at some of the stuff I see on social media is like these sports figures or these athletes or these entertainers. It's like they idolize them, and I don't know when it started. Um, I'm not even necessarily saying it's a quote unquote bad thing, but I've never looked at people like that. So to me, it's as someone who tries to adjust to their environment and make space for other people, it gets a little it gets a little I don't want to use the weird word, but it gets a little interesting to see how people put these athletes up on these pedestals so high to the point that you start crapping on the coach, you start crapping on other players on the team because they're not quote unquote helping this person you idolize win. And I think that's, to me, in my opinion, that's where it becomes a problem. No matter how much you idolize an individual in a sport, it's a team game unless you're playing tennis. It's a team game. Everybody on the team is needed to win, no matter how good one individual player is. And so, as somebody who grew up playing sports, I think that's where I take issue. Where I always take issue with it is because no matter how good individually you are, the team is needed to win, bro. Everybody, from the sixth man to the 12th man, everybody's needed. You don't see the work that gets put into practice. Blah blah blah. I won't go on a sermon about how important team is, but I found it interesting. Um, just in related to heroes, and so I started thinking, I'm like, all right, well, I see it in sports where there's uh, extreme adulation. I'll say that instead of idolatry. Extreme adulation. I see it in sports. What other area of life do I see it in? I think what I've noticed, I think some people just want to feel like they could relate to something. And I think ultimately that's probably what it is. It's why people are so concerned with, I'm a black man in America. And I guess I'll say that I guess I could speak to this part specifically because I feel like this is where the conversation is going. And again, I'm not saying how other people should be, or I'm not telling you should agree with me. This is just how I think. And I got to make that clear. I'm not dictating to anyone, this is how you should think. This is how I think. Most people in a lot of things disagree with me. I'm just trying to show that it's fine to disagree. That's all. So, as a black person in America, talk about the heroes and all that. I never, and I can say this, man, honest to God, I never looked at someone and because they were black doing something, felt like, oh, now it's time. Like I could do it now. Somebody that looks like me is doing that. I literally have never in my life felt that. Um, I think they call it representation. for me, anytime I seen anybody doing something cool, I don't care if they were purple. I wanted to do it. Hey, that looks cool. Whatever that is, whatever they were doing, it looked cool. Um, Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there were barriers that black people in this country had to, jump over, discrimination, all those things. I honor that, and it makes sense. And so, the first to do something when you're not allowed to do it, totally, I'm not even really talking about that. I'm talking about this feeling that I see a lot of people, sentiment that I should say that I see a lot of people have, where it's like, well, we need people that look like us doing something so that we can feel like it's okay to do it. I never had that feeling ever in my life. Ever in my life. Um, I operate mostly on the kind of how things were before. Like, let's just take baseball for instance. For example, I should say. So baseball back in the day, black people weren't allowed to play in the major leagues, right? And so black people love baseball just like other people, or just like white people in the country, right? So instead of not playing baseball, what did they do? They created their own league, successful. We know the history. Well, if you don't know the history of the Negro League, please take some time, Wikipedia, watch some documentaries. It's amazing. A lot of great players that never really got their opportunity to uh, quote unquote shine. A lot of great players though. So I always operated under that sort of mentality of like, well, I love this thing, so I'm gonna do it anyway, regardless if you want me to do it with you or not. So from that aspect, I never looked at life and said somebody has to look like me before I feel comfortable enough to do whatever it is I want to do. Um, so I asked my boy, I'm like, yo, who y'all heroes, man? My boys, I never had no hero. All of my boys, all of my boys said this. I never had no hero. I never had no hero. When it comes to human achievements, obviously, I love sports, and some of my favorite players that I like to enjoy watching them play the game, right? That's kind of where it stops for me. I don't know these people as human individuals. I just enjoy watching them play the game. So, like, if I don't know you as a person, and you could be cool. This don't even mean nothing negative. How could I make you my hero and I don't even know who you are? Because you're good at playing sports? That don't make no sense. Not to me. Just because you're good at playing sports don't mean anyway, to me, it's like, I don't know, a hero. A hero to me, I mean, if I was to say in an ideal world, right? I didn't have a father uh, in my life growing up. But in an ideal world, if there was to be a hero in my personal life, I would believe that it would have to be my dad, right? Someone that you learn, like you come from this person, you see their ways, their actions, they move in the right way, they raising a family, they're doing all the right things, the character, all that kind of stuff kind of would like, hey, I kind of want to mold myself after this person. That to me, the way my mind works, to me that feels like that's what I would lean if I was to have a hero, that's the direction that I would lean into, you know, more so than, arbitrarily picking like a famous person. We don't know these people, man. We don't know these people at all. So anyway, that's kind of where my mind was going this morning. Um, and I would just say this to kind of end this: try to be a hero in your own life. You know what I'm saying? Think if you think about life as like a book, like a story that you're writing into the end, and you think about like the hero's arc, right? if you ever if you watch movies or even cartoons, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anything that involves like a protagonist, it's always cool. You get to know them. They do good. They go through some struggles, some downtime. They climb back out the hole and they win at the end. So I just try to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just try to if a hero was to exist in my life, I just try to be that hero, myself. And that takes a lot. Uh, it's a perspective shift, right? At the end of the day, if you think about it like this, if you write in a book, your life is a book. When you're done, what is your book about? What is your book about? You give up, and that's cool if you do. If that's fine. I'm not here to judge anybody. Did you give up? Is your book about giving up? Is your book about, oh man, I tried my hardest and it just didn't work out. I just gave up. I don't know, man. Anyway, that's the end phrase. Just try to be a hero in your own life. If needing a hero or any of that is something that you feel like you need, try to find inspiration in nature, in the world God built for in this planet. You know what I mean? Like, just there's people that's gonna come along the way that's gonna you'll see little things about them. It might interest you. Oh man, I like that quality about that person. There's a quality about this person, and I like that. Find that same quality in you because it exists. Everything that exists in somebody else exists in you. You just got to see it. Anyway, man, y'all be love. Peace.